Hey, I'm Flatt, and this is Everyone's a Critic. Superhero movies, that's a thing. Doctor Strange came out last weekend, and it is the last one for the year. I've got nothing better to do, so let's talk about it, and all of 2016's superpowered blockbusters. Things kicked off early with the release of Deadpool on Valentine's Day weekend. It completely blew away all financial and critical expectations, winning over lots of different people, like children that shouldn't have seen it, and senior citizens that didn't understand it. Personally, as a longtime geek, the quality and originality of the movie came as no surprise to me. I knew Ryan Reynolds was perfect for the part, and that he wouldn't allow a subpar product to tarnish what he'd worked like 10 years to make. Deadpool is almost definitely the superhero movie of the year, and will probably make my 2016 top 10 list. This was a crazy place to start the year. I can't wait to see what comes. Crap, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now look, I try to avoid bandwagoning to the best of my ability. I don't want to bash a movie just because everyone else is. Heck, I am normally the one defending the movies that most people don't like, but Batman v Superman is just so frustratingly bad that I have to agree with everyone else. I absolutely love Superman, and I've been looking forward to this one since its early planning that started over a decade ago. But my expectations were still low after its spoiler-filled previews and the mediocrity of Man of Steel. What makes it so frustrating is that it does have good elements. Ben Affleck actually manages a really good Bruce Wayne Batman balance. Henry Cavill is a brilliant Superman, and there are some really cool action scenes. But just about everything else in the movie is awful. This should have been one of the defining comic book films ever, and now it serves as a clear example of how these movies can seriously go wrong. Deep breath, Cameron. Captain America: Civil War is almost good enough to make me forget about Batman v Superman and Avengers: Age of Ultron. Not that I dislike Ultron, but Civil War is a much better Avengers movie. While a lot of people loved this one upon its release, I have talked to some people recently that really only enjoyed it for the airport scene. While I can understand that sentiment, I think it is a solid movie from start to finish, thanks to the Black Panther subplot, the Scarlet Witch and Vision relationship, the more personal final battle, and a range of fantastic performances. As far as overall quality, this is probably the best superhero movie of 2016. At the end of May, we got XMen Apocalypse, the 9th in the X-Men series. I somewhat enjoyed it for its comic book silliness, but it is nowhere near good enough to justify making any more X-Men movies, at least in the current storyline. It did make decent money in theaters, but the fan and critic response was not pleasant. They tried to introduce a new cast of young actors for another trilogy, but I'm not sure if we will ever actually see the trilogy. The future of the X-Men franchise will most likely be centered around Deadpool and television programs, with 2 Deadpool sequels already planned, and the excellent-looking Legion coming to FX in 2017. Okay, things are running smoothly again. What is freaking dang it, DC Comics? Okay, Suicide Squad is not nearly as bad as Batman v Superman, but this is just because it didn't have as far to fall. The general reaction to this one is kind of hard to pin down. There's definitely a lot of disappointment in it, but it made a lot more money than expected, and Harley Quinn has obviously become a well-known name because of this movie. I really did not like it, but I could see how someone could find enjoyment in it. Will Smith and Margot Robbie make for an excellent leading pair, and Viola Davis is a seriously scary villain. I think Suicide Squad has already found its core audience, and those people will probably continue to love it, at least until they hit puberty. I also think that most people are interested to see what the follow-up is, whether it is a direct sequel or a Harley Quinn spinoff. And that brings us to Doctor Strange. This is probably the most unique superhero movie of the year. Ever since the Dark Knight trilogy, most superhero movies have tried to stay somewhat in the realm of realism, which means we see a lot more technology and a lot less magic. Doctor Strange is all magic and is a lot of fun to look at. This is some of the best use of CGI ever, through world-bending, galaxy traveling, and spellcasting. There are so many great visualizations for complex ideas that Doctor Strange will absolutely be remembered as a benchmark for the modern blockbuster, in the same vein as Inception and Gravity. Also, Benedict Cumberbatch makes sure that we want to see a lot more of Doctor Strange himself. Well, overall, unsurprisingly, Marvel had a great year, and DC Comics continues in its struggle to keep up. Deadpool might actually have the biggest impact of all, almost single-handedly keeping the X-Men franchise alive and paving the way for more R-rated comic book adaptations. Well, that's all I've got. Up next, Lenita puts all gossip on trial as Rumor Cop after the break.